What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rabbit Trails.
Yo, dudes, what's
We're
going on?
doing it. Episode
26.
26. I said it, and you heard it. 26. Hi. Dude, how are you, man?
Not too bad. Today's been a long day, and I got something to do after this. So I'm just like, I'm going too hard. I'm going to be wiped tomorrow. But always a pleasure to see my best bro of all times on this little screen in front of me.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey,
Slay
queen. What do you have to do after this?
There's a student who I was their contact before they got here. She's a German girl named Tamar. She's amazing. Shout out Tamar. She'll probably
The
never hear
Germans. Shout out to the Germans.
So she's like,
Shout out to everybody into Germany.
Guten Tag. Nine.
Fraulein. Nine.
Dude, yesterday, so the bass leader, sidebar, the bass leader here is German. And he was telling us, I was like, how old's your daughter the other day? Because she was running around and we were all talking, everyone at my table. And he was like, Emma, how old are you? And she said 9. And in my head, I'm just thinking, why'd you say no? But I was like, I'm not gonna say that. Because she doesn't have a German accent, but it was a funny joke to me. So I said it in my head and I gave it a little chuckle. I gave it a little chortle. But anyways, so this German student wants to watch a movie with me and one of the staff named Micah, because we're both big movie people. And so she was like, it's on her bucket list to watch a movie with us. So we're going to watch 1917 after this. Yeah.
What is it? Is that war movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one best visual effects over Endgame made no sense to me.
I was actually there in 1917. It was pretty rough. So,
dude, were you serious? Were you there?
I don't like to talk about it. It was just I don't know. I had to take a lot of lives, and I didn't mind doing it. So,
wow.
Trying to understand that. You ever taken a life before? Feels good, man. It feels really, really good.
That one time, I don't think so. I don't really know.
I thought he was dead, but I'm not sure.
He's not a confirmed kill per se.
Just to clarify, me and Gage have never killed anyone.
Yeah, never ever killed anyone. Nope. Nope. Haven't done it.
Never ever done that.
Definitely have never killed anyone. This is a true statement.
This is my statement in case we get... What is it? So, okay. You go ahead. We'll go ahead and do your statement just in case, right? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I did not kill them. I swear.
Nice. That's good.
Okay, right, you go.
Kill who?
Kill? What does that mean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what kill? What is that spelled? C-I-L? Is it? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. Dude, so I actually am exhausted myself because this week has been this week drop kicked me in the throat and I was like,
dude, that probably hurt, man.
Yeah, so I had to, what was it, Monday I had to take my parents to the airport because they were going to Florida to see my gran.
Yeah.
And I had to wake up at 4 in the morning because their flight left at 9, but apparently they have to be there 2 hours earlier because of COVID stuff. I don't know. I don't really. So I woke up at 4, made a beeline to my dad's house. Well, my mom and my dad, they both live there. And I get there, dad's eating breakfast, mom's still getting ready. We're supposed to leave by 5:30. Classic mom, though. She's got to get ready to the last minute. You could wake her up at midnight and tell her she has until freaking 5 or 6, maybe 7. She'll take it down to the last minute. She'll just squeeze every drop out that she has to get ready.
Yeah.
So dad's eating breakfast. I go in there, and I'm tired as all get out, right? Because I haven't...
I'm sure you are, yeah.
Because also, okay, do you ever do this thing where you have to wake up super early so then when you're trying to sleep, your brain is like, "What are we Hey man, what are you
Don't
doing?
ever sleep.
Hey, do
Don't
you
ever
want to
sleep.
Hey, do you
Yeah,
want to
you
do
check the
something?"
clock like every hour. You like
It's like a
just open your
it's like
eyes and check the clock.
yeah, it's like you have a ball for a dog and the dog's like, "You going to throw it?" But your brain's like, "Sleep? You want to sleep?" And it doesn't.
Sleep? Huh?
So, I went to bed at 1 o'clock is when around the time I passed out.
Oh, that
So,
sucks, man.
yeah, so I'm running off of like 3 hours of sleep. And then turns out my dog, the second one, because my first one has previously died. Her name was
Mm-hmm.
Katie. R.I.P. Katie. Can we have a moment of silence for?
R.I.P.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
Katie, she did. She's not with us
Hey, can
anymore.
we get
She
a
had some.
sorry? Can we get a moment of silence for Katie? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Um, just that one.
Dude, be quiet.
Dude, can you shut up? It's a
Dude, that was
moment of
so disrespectful.
silence.
Dude, shut up, dude.
So, Katie went to be with the Lord, right?
Oh,
And
dude, Katie. Dude, moment of silence for Katie.
shut up. Okay,
Okay, really
so
go.
my second dog, Roro is her name.
Mm-hmm.
She started picking up this new habit, um, seizures. So she started having
Oh no, I
seizures a
didn't even
lot.
know that, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you do now. So she's having seizures regularly now. It's one of her new favorite things to do. Um,
Dang.
typically, whenever she's like really in a good mood and like is energetic and excited, she starts to seize up and
Seize.
spaz out. I
Wow.
guess her body can't contain the excitement anymore. Um, so she started seizing. That was really cool. Personally, I didn't have to witness it. Dad was just like, "Yeah, so Roro had a seizure this morning, and it was a good one." Which I'm like, is there a good seizure to have?
What does that really mean?
He's like, yeah, I knew she was gonna have it because she came out of her cage all energetic and excited, and then next thing I
I feel
know,
like
she's
Roro is
laying.
literally always energetic, always
She is
excited. Yeah.
always all the time. She's stupid.
Yeah.
Um, so Dad was like, yeah, I saw her in the backyard, and that leg, she was just laying down. That leg was stretched out, and I mean, what are you gonna do? You just got to let her go through it. And I'm like, I mean, you're right. I don't know. And then I freaking So then I'm just waiting for us to leave,
Yeah.
and they're getting ready, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get in the car. Dad gets in the passenger seat, mom gets in the back seat, but she gets in the middle, um, which is fine. I like to do that too, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I have my music playing just barely, right? Because
Yeah.
you can never have music playing with old people
Mm-hmm.
because when old people are in the car,
You have
just
to talk.
the tiniest bit of sound, they're just like, "What? What is that? What did you say? You repeat that. I can't hear you." So we get going, and uh, I take my first right turn. There's a yield where they live. There's like a yield you got to take
Mm-hmm.
to turn right to get on the road, and I do that. And when I do that, I'm kind of looking on my right, and out of my peripheral vision, I see feet fly up from the back seat, and I go, "Whoa!" And I go, "What the frick?" And then I see mom on her back with her feet up. And she just fell over in the back seat. So
Was
I'm
she
like,
buckled?
so I go, "Mom, what the frick?
Regine.
What is happening?" And she goes, "Well, I fell over. I wasn't buckled." I go, "Why weren't you buckled?" She's like,
Buckle,
she goes,
dude.
"I didn't have time."
Dude, okay, there is time between Josh's house and that turn. I know exactly how much time there is, and there is a lot. There's like a solid minute and a half at least to get there.
Well, here's the thing: when you get in a car
Unless you're
before it starts
speeding out of the
moving,
Bolton compound.
yeah. Well, the thing is, before the vehicle starts moving, you should be in the process. The first thing you do besides
Yep.
getting in it is getting buckled up,
Buckle up.
right? So,
Yep.
anyways, I that was funny, but also I'm like, my mom's gonna
Also,
die
she's sitting in
before
the
we even get to
middle
the airport.
seat, dude. The
That's what
middle
I'm saying.
seat unbuckled. Like, are you serious? Like, at least in the side seats, it's like, okay, but the middle seat, you're unbuckled? Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you if you need some help.
And that's my mom, you know, like she always has unintentional funny things happen to her all the time. And unfortunately for this one, she
It was
completely
life
fell over.
threatening.
It was as if you shoved her.
Dude, it
Cuz she's
sounds
such
forceful.
So that happens, right? Then we're going and she
Mhm.
goes, we're not even maybe a mile and a half
She
from
forgot
when she
something?
fell. No, no, no. She goes, "Can you turn the music down? I can't hear."
Of course.
So I turn the music off because
Mhm.
there's no point. I can
Mhm.
barely hear it as it is. Might as well not have it on.
Yep.
And then she goes, "I just want to hear you guys talk." Now I'm
You said,
I s-
"Oh, me and Gage turn on the best podcast of all
turn off the
times."
podcast.
Oh yeah,
So
no
then
problem, mom.
I just want to stop talking because I'm like,
Mhm.
no, you know what? If I don't get to hear music at 4 a.m, I don't want to hear anything.
Yep.
All I want to hear is road noise because I'm
Yep.
prideful, right?
Yes, you are.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop
I
talking.
knew when she says turn off the music, you're already frustrated and
I'm very
like
frustrated.
you're starting to boil.
I am. But here's the thing: to preface to everyone listening, I love my
I
mother
love my bad.
very dearly.
You
I love
can't
her
even say
dearly,
it.
and she's hilarious in her own way. And I'm in no way hating on my mother. I'm also prefacing this for if my mother's watching, because sometimes she doesn't know when I'm kidding. And this would be probably one of those times. I love
Hey
you, Mom.
Regine.
Hey,
Hey
girl.
Regine. Hey
Hey,
girl.
Queen. Kisses.
Dude,
Okay,
today
so.
I told some girl that she was slaying, and then when she left, I put my hand up like in a cross and I said, "May you slay eternal."
That's a good one.
Hmm.
So I want to stop talking because I'm like, if I don't get to hear music,
Yeah,
I don't want to hear anything except road noise.
you got to fire
So
back.
I'm trying to not talk, but Dad is really into. They just got Wi-Fi out where they live. They've never had
Mm.
Wi-Fi for as long as I've lived, and I'm 24.
Hmm.
And living at home, I never got any. I'd have to go to my friend's house to get some of that good stuff. So, Dad has been watching a lot of sports documentaries because he's never got to do that. He's very into them,
Jeff,
and old pops likes to talk about it, right?
kind of cute, kind of cute.
It is.
NGL,
It's kind of
not
cute.
gonna lie. Jeff.
It is so fun. It's fun to see your parent like listen to your parents and like the things that they're interested in because you're like, oh, look at you. You got a little
Aw,
hobby.
that
Cute.
came out like 13 years ago.
So he's very into sports documentaries. So he was talking to me
Hmm.
about one. So my mission of silence isn't really a thing because I'm not going to not
Yeah,
engage with pops. So
right.
we get going, okay, and then mom's like, "Did you talk to so and so?" And I'm like, "It's 4 a.m. I haven't talked to anybody." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And we get to go. So we're in. There's this one part going into Dallas. I want to say it's like in Greenville or something, but there's an exit and there's a straight, and there's these only two. And I always take that exit when I need to go straight because the road feels like it's leading more towards that exit, and it comes up so freaking quick, dude. I took that exit, and I was like, frick. And my dad was like, "Oh, you were supposed to take the straight." And I was like, "I know I was supposed to take the straight, but I took the exit on accident." And then mom was like, "Well, did the radio or did the GPS tell you to take the exit?" And I was like, "It would have told me to take the exit, but I had to keep my phone's Bluetooth in my car, and I didn't have the thing on, so I couldn't heard her say it because you can't hear anything whenever there's music on." And
Hmm.
she goes, and I'm frustrated. She's like, "You could have turned it on." I was like,
Right,
"I
Gene.
know I could have," and I was like, and I realize I'm being a jerk, right?
Uh
Because
huh.
I'm being a total jerk. It's early in the morning, and I'm
You're
frustrated because I took
tired.
the. I'm so tired, and I'm being rude to my mom for no reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sorry, mom. I was just kidding." She goes, "No, you weren't."
You sound just like your freaking mom when you said that.
And I was like, and then Dad was like, "He's just frustrated because he missed the exit." And I was like, yeah, I'm
That's exactly
frustrated.
why I'm
I'm sorry.
frustrated.
Yeah. So then we get going a little bit more. Things are fine. Things are cool.
Hmm.
And I get behind. I'm behind a truck
First
that's
mistake.
that's hauling a. Uh, it looks like to be a baby tractor, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not even thinking anything about it. I'm just behind it. I'm in my own lane. I'm going. That's where people frick up driving in like big cities and stuff. Is like I'm not in any hurry to get anywhere. So if I'm in a solid lane, I'm just gonna chill in that lane. I don't need to swerve past people. I don't care. That's how you have wrecks. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
minding my own business, dude. So I'm behind this baby tractor that's attached to this big truck, and my dad goes, "Man, I'm sure it's strapped up to a lot of things, but I bet it like imagine if that thing just like detached." And I was like, "That is a good thought, isn't it, Pop?" So now it's in my head. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now I gotta move out of the way before this thing crushes a kick. Huh? Ba jump
Yes, sir.
ba sha. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
illiterate. I'm illiterate. So maybe I'm having seizures just like my dog. So that's cool. Maybe
Maybe.
it's contagious. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
So then I swerve out of the way and I get away from this truck, right? And then I find myself behind another truck, but it's more of a dumpster truck.
Okay.
Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Uh, Dad's talking about something. I can't remember because what happens next blinded me with rage, and a rock just shot out of nowhere and
Uh-uh.
cracked my windshield.
No. It cracked it?
So it cracked my windshield. So like it wasn't cracked before, the rock hit it, now it's cracked. I see it's cracked and I am hysterical. I'm
Mm.
screaming, but I'm screaming like I'm happy that it happened.
Yeah.
And then and then when I'm done screaming, Dad goes, "Oh, I'm sure your insurance will cover that." Which I'm like, I hope so. I don't know why else I've been paying for it. And then he's like, he gets his phone. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna get you the hookup. I'm gonna get you the hookup right now. I know this guy who fixes windshields. And I'm like, okay, sweet,
By all
appreciate it.
means.
Now, for people who don't know, Gage and I, when we're very frustrated, we just need to get it out in our own way in a
Yeah.
short period of time, and we'll be fine after that.
I have to
So
keep talking about it and making jokes about it until I
yeah,
laugh.
yeah. So I do my scream.
Mm-hmm.
Dad sends me the info. I got the hookup right,
Yeah.
and I'm fine. And we're going. We're back to our regularly. I have a seizure. I'm illiterate. I can't talk. We're back to our regular program.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the airport. So now we're in DFW, which is a mess. Any
Oh.
airport is a
They did
mess.
DFW, not Love Field?
Yes.
I'm
Personally, I've
sorry,
never done
man.
Love Field. I've never done Love
Love
Field, I don't
Field
think.
is amazing. It's lovely. DFW is the worst thing ever.
I've never been, so I don't know. Um, I've also been to New York's, and that one sucked.
JFK.
Yeah,
I'm walking
I do.
here.
I do remember though. I do remember being in the New York one, JFK, and there was such a huge line, and we were already late, just trying to
Mm-hmm.
find it. And then the people, the baggage claim or baggage check or wherever the frick, there was such a big line, and they were like, "You." We were kind of outside of the group, and we were like, "We're missionaries," and then they were like, "Oh, well, just hop in front of the line," and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know Jesus, so I
That's
guess I get to
sick.
cut in line. It felt like a pass, right?
Yeah.
But we get to DFW, and there's the toll. You got to go through the toll booths before you can actually get into the airport itself.
Dumb.
And yeah, so I have a toll tag.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing was like toll tag only. I go in the toll tag only. It's supposed to scan from above your toll tag, and then it's just supposed to open the gate, and then you can go through. So
Yeah.
I pull up. Nothing's happening. So I'm like, maybe I'm not close enough. So I get a little closer. Nothing's happening. I get to where it's about to like my car's about to hit the gate.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. So now I'm like, okay. So then I put it in reverse and to where I can reach the little booth to the left because it's all like
Yeah.
do it yourself kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I go, okay. I roll down the window. I try to like I hit the thing, I hit the button, and I'm like, whatever, dude. I'll just get a ticket, and then I'll pay for it. I don't care. I just want to get in here,
Mm-hmm.
and this be done. I hit the thing and it doesn't print the ticket. I hit it again and it doesn't print the ticket. So now I'm mad, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm calm, but I'm mad. I hit it again, and it doesn't give me the ticket. So
This
I'm
is tragic.
so now like I have like I'm like a cup with too much water, right?
Uh-huh.
So a little bit is just spilling out. A little bit of
On the
anger,
edge.
a little anger spilling out.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go, "Give me the damn ticket." And my parents are just being quiet, right?
uh,
So it prints the ticket. I I open my door a little bit, and then I kind of I lean out the door to grab the ticket.
uh-huh.
I bonk my head on the door.
Mm. You are
I
having a morning, dude. Oh
I
my gosh.
I grab the ticket. There's people behind me waiting.
Uh-huh.
I grab the ticket. I scream the F word so loud. I slam my door shut, and then I put it in drive. The gate opens and I go.
All right.
And then I go. And then my dad with the most sincere, I'm fuming mad. My dad
Yeah.
with the most sincere, he goes, "I'm sorry, bud."
Jeff, I
So then
love
I
that
go,
man.
so it was so sincere that I just
That is,
immediately stopped being mad and I was like,
yeah.
"Sorry guys, I just had to throw a little tantrum for a second. We're all good."
Wow.
And
I
then we
love
then
Jeff.
we
That's so funny.
so then we had to I get into a little parking place. I walk them to where they need to go, and then well, I don't walk them where they need to go. I really just came in because I had to use the bathroom,
Yeah.
and I used the bathroom, and then they're like, "We'll find it," and then I left.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a text from my dad, and mom almost flipped out on a TSA lady, and I'm like, "What happened?" And he said that the TSA lady just started like, and not just them, but the people behind them, or like the people that was behind them too.
Mm-hmm.
She started taking out all their stuff and just throwing it everywhere, like just chucking all their stuff.
Why?
No clue. So then they got heated, to which I think I kind of wish like how funny would it be if they were just like, ma'am, um, if I was a T word, because you can't say terrorist, right?
Yeah.
And you go, if I was a T word, one of those 9/11s,
If I
um,
played T-ball,
and you were doing that, and then I had a bomb in my bag, we'd all be dead. But she didn't say that, but that would be a fun thing to do. And I
I would do
honestly,
this. I'd be like, ma'am, just look at me. Look at me. I know who you are and I know where you live. So you better stop throwing that stuff around. You understand me? And then she would, and then I'd take my stuff and get on the plane.
it'd be more impressive if you knew like her actual address, because
Yeah.
she wouldn't believe you at first. Like, you just say you go, "Ma'am," and she goes, "What?" And then you just say her address, and she's like, "How do you know that?" And you're like, "How about you fold my stuff and put it back?"
How about you fold my stuff nicely and put it back in my bag and
Dude, why do
check
TS
that?
why do TSA people hate their jobs so much? Like, if you just hate it so much, don't do it. You know?
Not all of them do. I mean, like, especially those big airports, like DFW is horrible. Like, it's horrible to be a traveler there, and I'm sure it's horrible to work there as
Probably,
well.
yeah.
Excuse me.
But okay, so uh, I'm I'm texting and driving because it's better than drinking and driving, right?
Right.
And I'm just
Makes
kidding.
sense.
Don't text and drive, but I was doing it. So what kind of example am I? I don't know. Um, he goes, "Pay attention to the road," to which made me laugh because I'm like, "You're
Yeah.
texting me to pay attention to the road. You want me to
Yep.
read to pay attention to the road?" I
Yeah.
could cry. He said, "Pay attention to the road. I'm sure traffic's bad." Traffic really wasn't that bad. So I started to text him. It's actually not that bad. Before I could hit send, traffic got that bad. But
Ah.
it wasn't like on a major highway. I was kind of on the outskirts of Dallas already, going
Mm-hmm.
just taking a straight home, right? And
Yeah.
a line started backing up, and I see a cop car, and I'm like, oh, someone got pulled over. I see a
Yeah.
fire truck. I go, someone
Oh.
probably got T-boned.
Yep.
I see an ambulance, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see another fire truck. I'm like, it must have been a fire.
Mm.
And I see the scene of the crime, which was a car in a tree.
A car in a
Um,
tree?
it was in the tree. Don't know how it got there. It
Like
wasn't on the ground though. Like the
like
car was like there's a
like
tree and in it was a car.
like off the ground.
Yeah, like cars normally are on the ground and on the road, and this one was above in a tree.
So you're telling me that somebody wait, did you happen to see Vin Diesel there?
I didn't see Vin Diesel. No,
That'd be my first guess.
I saw a gentleman. I'm assuming he was the owner of the car, sitting kind of in the grass. Was not injured,
So
but
he climbed down
his
the tree.
car was. Dude, I have no clue. I should have stopped to ask how he lived because this was wild. Somehow this car's
You
in the
just
tree.
park on the shoulder, you get out and you just like walk calmly to him and you're just like looking at the tree.
And what
And
happened
then
to
he's
him?
just like sitting there, he's got like a shock blanket on, and you're like, how did you get down from there? And all the cops are like, sir, you can't be here. You just like went past the caution tape. You're like, oh no, it's no problem. I just wanted to know. I saw the car up there, and I thought to myself, how did he get out of there? So I just thought I'd come ask. It's no big deal. And they're like, sir, you need to leave the area. And you're like, how did you do that? And they're like, sir,
You like
they pull out their stun gun. They're like, sir, you need to leave right now. You're like, listen, I'm just asking. I'm just asking the guy a simple question, you know? How did he get out? He's fine. And where'd he get this neat blanket at?
can I have one?
Can I
They
have
like
one?
push you out to the caution tape. They're like, you can't be here. I'm like, I just wanted to know. And they're like, sir, please step back. And you're like, all right. And then you step back and you're like, hey man, how'd you get out of the tree?
They're like, they come up to you initially. They're like, what news branch are you with? You're like, I just wanted to know how you got out of the tree. And they're like, you're not with the press? You're like, no, I just was driving by. That's my Corolla right there. I just wanted to know like how do you get down from the tree?
They're like, are you with like a news press or anything? I'm like, uh, yes. They're like, which one? You're like, Daily Bugle.
One of them's like, the cop's like over there. He's like, did he just say Daily Bugle? He's like, yeah, I've never heard that. He's like, that's fake. My son watches Spider Man. He's
I'm
like,
like,
all right, get out of here.
no. It was, it's like a coincidence or anything. And they're like, what's your name, sir? I'm like, Peter Park. Oh,
Eddie
Eddie
Brock
Brock.
Jr., sir.
Frick. Eddie. Also a coincidence. I just like pull over and then I go by the dude. I go by the guy and he's like traumatized and he's like, oh my gosh, and he's on his phone like trying to call his family or whatever. And I'm just like, so trees come up. They come up pretty quick, huh? He's like, what? And I'm like, your is that yours? Is that your car right there? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so what kind of spell did you use to get that up there? Like, could you go into detail about what happened? Like, vividly? Like, do you remember it? And he's like, yeah, I remember it. It just happened to me. You think you could play that out for me? Just like, I'm like writing a story on people with cars and how did you live through that? And
Man,
he's like,
how did you get down, man?
I'm like, did you get stabbed? And he's like, no, I didn't get stabbed. I just started asking the most insensitive questions, like, hey man, I'm sure your insurance will pay for that.
You're like, dude, how do you think you're gonna like pay for all the damages? He's like, I don't know. I'm just glad I lived. I'm like, I wouldn't be glad I lived if I was gonna go into a massive amount of debt for my car, dude.
How did you, what's your plan on getting that down? Like, do
You
you
walk,
just put it in,
you
you put it in reverse or what?
you pull up on the shoulder. You walk calmly over to the dude, and he's like in shock, and he's like crying, and you go, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Hey, hi, are you with the ambulance or something? And you're like, no. Um, hey man, I just thought of this when I was driving by. I thought I'd stop and let you know. It's called a tree. It's a tree house, not a tree car. He's like, what the frick, man?
That was a good
Dude,
one. But
so
okay,
stupid.
the last crazy thing that had happened was a couple miles further. I look on the side of the road and I see I had to take like a 5 take at what I thought I saw.
Okay.
And I still don't know. I'm trying to process it right now, and it's probably going to haunt me for the rest of my life. But I look, and on the shoulder of the road looks to me like a dead body.
Okay.
Now, it was either a dead body, could only be two things, okay? It could either be a dead body,
Okay.
which is more likely for me,
Very likely.
or it was a shaved coyote with toes. And this
Also
coyote
likely.
happened to be probably like 6'2". Now, I'm hoping it's
Wow.
the first one
Yeah.
because
That would be awesome.
how terrible would it be if we started
Oh,
to have some weird coyote hybrids with toes that can now run up on humans?
just awful.
So it's better if it's just a dead body.
Yeah. That's more
But then
normal, you know.
I made it home safe though, and you know, super tired the rest of the day. But that was kind of how that went.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, it was an interesting time. It was not fun.
Dude,
Oh,
I've told you
oh, I
this
didn't even
story
mention.
about. Oh, wait.
I'm sorry. I have to. So before we left, I went to go use the bathroom, and my dad was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, let me show you something." So I was like, "Well, don't come in here." And then he has a piece of paper with a thumbtack on it, and he's like, "This is the combination to the safe, his gun safe." And then he puts it where he hides it, and he was like, "The safe includes all the deeds to the house, deeds to the vehicles, things that you're gonna need if anything happens." And I was like, "Well, I hope you know if like someone tries to torture me for this information, I'm just gonna give it to him." And he was like, I was like, "What do you mean? Like, what's gonna happen? You know?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, you never know. Like, I'm going on an airplane and this and that." And I was like, "Oh, you mean like die?" And he was like, and he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "This is a really cool conversation to have at 4 in the morning."
Yeah.
And that, but he didn't die, so we're good. And I
How
don't
big
have
is the
to.
safe?
I could fit in it.
Oh, so it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Okay, I was like, I just always see people put stuff like that in safes, and I'm like, I could just take the safe and then break it when I get to wherever like where my heist planning place is. I could just break it.
No, you couldn't carry this safe. I promise you.
Okay.
You can't carry much anyway, let alone a safe. So
Would you say it's safe to say?
I'm done with this podcast. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
dude.
What were you saying though before I interrupted you? Because what I was gonna say was better. Dang, so
Mm,
good you forgot.
I don't claim that it was going to be super entertaining. I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh,
Oh, I was just going to
I
say that it
guess.
was sounded horrible. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it was an experience, but we made it through, and it's
Oh,
all
wait.
about.
I remember what I was going to say now. I was going to ask you if I
Yeah.
told you this story where I wrecked the van in Mexico.
No, you didn't tell me that.
I swear that I did, but maybe you just
That's.
forgot.
I could have done that too. I forget a lot of things.
Yeah. I can't remember if I've talked about it on the pod or not, but I'll go off. Did you have something to say before that, though?
I'll tell it later.
Okay. Okay, so this is during the summer, the 2020 summer DTS outreach that I staffed and co-led.
Okay.
Okay, and so we drove this van to the first half of our outreach, Montana, with a big trailer on it, and so I drove that across America um, to San Diego, where we hooked it up and we tied the trailer to a tree outside the San Diego offices of YWAM. And then we parked the van there because we weren't going to cross over the border with it. They were just going to
Mm.
come pick us up and bring us over with all our stuff since they knew how all that stuff worked. But anyways, so I was planning. The plan was that I wouldn't drive in Mexico because they have a lot of staff and they would be driving us places, like in their vans. I wouldn't expect to drive going to someone else's base. So we get there and like the first day, they're like, you can drive, right? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've never driven in Mexico before. They're like, oh, you can do it. And they like hand me the keys. They're like, you'll drive this van, we'll drive the other one, you follow us. And I was like,
A lot
I
of
was really
pressure.
hoping I wasn't going to have to drive. I'm not really comfortable with that. And they were like, well, we don't have enough people to do it. So, and I was like, okay, I guess I will drive because someone's got to do it. And
Yeah.
so I end up having to drive vans in Mexico. And so it's like week 2. It's like week 1 or 2. I can't remember how far in it. I think it was like the it might have been the first week. I think it was. We get down there and I wake up on the wrongest side of the bed. It
Dang,
was
dude, I'm the.
incorrect. The
You
side that I
usually
woke
sleep
up
on
on was
the. You sleep on the right side, and then you usually end up in the middle. So you
yeah.
ended up on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know which side of the bed Gage sleeps on for everyone listening. So freaking
I
what,
just
dude? It's
flashed
called.
back to when you ran into my room filming me with a flashlight on and I said, "Hello?"
I don't know if we told that on the pod, but sidebar real quick. Freaking Gage is a, Gage and I lived together for a year in the same house, and I always wanted to just bust in his room in the middle of the night and just like try to traumatize him,
Yeah,
wake
and I
him
told
up.
him
So
I would hate it and he was like, "I don't care."
I always told him I was gonna do it, and
Yeah.
he was like, please don't, and I was like, you're never gonna know, but I'll do it at some point.
Yep.
And I hadn't talked about it for a while, and he was about to. I think it was like our last week there,
Yeah.
and I still have the video when I did it too, and it was it was probably about midnight, 1 o'clock. Gage goes to bed pretty early, so I get my phone out and I'm like, yo, I've been saying I was going to do this for a while, but Gage is snoozing right now, and I'm about to bust in here and wake him up. So I get my flashlight on and I'm recording, and I open the door and I go, Fred, what did I say?
You
Oh
like
man,
yelled something.
I yelled something, and I just see like the cover, like he jolted a little bit, and he goes, "Hello,"
I like
and
looked
I
up and
start,
I was like, I couldn't see because it's just a light. I was so incoherent.
and then I. And I bust out laughing, and then I think I was like, "All right, man, have a good night, like
Yeah,
sweet
that's
dreams." And then I
exactly what
closed the door.
happened.
I closed the door, and then the next morning he goes, "I thought you were a murderer, and I was just gonna let you take all my things."
I thought he was.
And
I thought he. Okay, we lived in like a sketchy part of town. Like it was not super sketchy, but it was like there are crimes that happened in the park right next to our house. We're like
there
15
was that
feet from
time
this
that
park.
like all everybody's cars were getting broken into except ours, which
Yeah,
made us look
because
suspicious, but we didn't do it.
we had a deal with the mob, so they were untouchable pretty much.
Huh?
So
Interesting.
um, well, it's like we had the trap house, like we were dealing out of our place. So um, but anyway, so yeah, like I thought for sure that some gang members had like kicked in our door. Josh was probably already dead, and I thought there was like 4 people in my room. And it was just Josh at my door. He hadn't even entered the room. He just opened the door a little bit and just started yelling at me from the door.
Yeah.
And I just, for some reason, all of that went through my head at once, and I was like, "Hello." No
Yeah, it was
idea,
so,
but
yeah, it was hilarious. But anyways, so you were traveling in Mexico.
yeah. So it's the first day of what's called the pastoral visit. So it's when the school leader comes and visits you on your outreach to like sort of see if there's any help needed, to like talk to the students and the leaders and like see if they need to like soften anything up or like address anything. They're kind of like a third party that comes in and then tells the leader, well, a lot of them are saying this and that, and so here's where you can improve on this, stuff like that. So it's like they're coming in and I'm about to be like, you know, what's the word? Like
Yeah.
audited pretty much.
What's
So
the sitch?
yeah. So it's that day, the first day that the school leader's there, and I wake up on the most incorrect side of the bed. Like I'm talking, it's a multiple choice answer question with A, B, and C. A has this A has this answer, B has this answer, and then C is all of the or like both A and B. I choose that one, and that was wrong. It's not both of them. So it's like the most
Right.
incorrect I could get. So um I'm like super frustrated and just like cranky. And I have to drive to this place where we do a prayer walk. And we've been like late to lunch every day, getting back from ministry. And there's a lot of stuff that they want to do today. And so I came up with like a schedule and I was like, we got to do this and we'll be done about this time. We'll go do that. And then we'll be back in time for lunch. So I drive the van down to this prayer walk spot. We go on the prayer walk and students are taking too long to pray. And so I'm like, hey, you can pray. One of the students got mad at me, understandably so. But I was like,
Right.
hey, you can pray while you're walking.
Nice.
Like the whole
Nice.
group had went around and I didn't leave her behind because she'd be by herself. And like I didn't want her to get lost. And so I just stood there quietly and waited for her to pray. She was looking at this flyer of this missing guy and she was praying for him. Very sweet. That's what we're there for. And I was like, I might have tried to be like, "Hey, I know that you're praying, but like we're like leaving. We're on a schedule, you know." So like, but then I was like, "Hey, you can pray while you're walking." I can't remember exactly how I said it, but it was not necessarily the nicest way
Yeah, it
to
probably
do it.
wasn't taken. It wasn't taken nicely.
No, it was not.
She's probably definitely told her friends about that instance, and everyone who was involved was like, "That guy freaking sucks.
That
I
guy
hate him."
freaking sucks, dude. Remember when
Yeah,
he crashed
you're.
the van like an idiot?
Yeah, get to that part.
Yeah. Um, So we're late to leave the first part. So
Oh, you hate that.
I'm more frustrated now.
Yeah, and
Um
stressed.
yes, I'm stressed and I'm frustrated because
Yeah,
it's not happening the way that I wanted it to.
yeah, that's
Uh
life, but you don't
and I made a
accept it.
plan
Yeah.
and it's not being
Mm,
stuck to and it's possible
yeah.
to stick to it, but they aren't
Yeah.
sticking to it. So it's
Right.
making me like this happens all throughout outreach, but today for some reason I was already on edge because I woke up on
Mhm.
the wrong side of the bed. And
Right.
so I'm like unnecessarily frustrated and I'm like totally not noticing it. Like it's just happening, you know. I'm not having that moment of self-awareness where I'm like, "Oh dude, I'm really cranky right now. Like I wonder what's going on." I don't have
Mhm.
that. I don't check in with myself. So we get done with that late and then the kids want to go to Walmart, okay? So they can get some
Yay.
snacks or something. And
Heck yeah.
so which we were planning on doing. So we went to Walmart. It was horrible. That parking lot was probably this big, right here in between my
Nice.
fingers. Probably not was
Okay.
that big. There were like over 100 cars in this little tiny space, and I'm
Mhm.
driving a big van.
Mhm.
With it's full of people, and this dude, our contact Danny, he's amazing, but I just met him. I didn't know him very well
Mhm.
at all, and so I'm trying to park. There's literally like parking attendants in this Walmart parking lot because it's so small, and so people need help like seeing where they can park and the
Right.
spaces aren't really clearly aligned. So I'm trying to find a space in between all these little cars for this big giant van.
Mhm.
Um, Eventually, I find a place. It's horrible, and I didn't even want to park there. I wanted to keep looking, but the parking attendant was like pointing right there, and so I feel like I have to go there now.
Yeah.
So I pull in, and I like start pulling in, and I'm like super not doing it well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fit in that way. And so then I back out and I'm like doing it really, everything very slowly because it's not my van. It's like the first time I'm driving this van. I
Mhm.
have no idea how big this van is. I'm not used to driving it, you know,
Mhm.
and all these cars are small. And so I like back out a couple times and I'm pulling in and I'm looking at my rearview mirror at the car because I'm trying to pull to the left as much as I can to fit in the space. So I'm
Yeah.
watching the car to my left in the rearview mirror to see if the side of my van is going to hit that car. So I'm
Yeah.
watching it with like laser focus and like turning the wheel. I'm really giving it the finesse, okay? And
Yeah.
I'm so stressed. Like imagine it's animated, there's sweat dropping down my face, dude. And it's
Mm.
zooming in on my eye, you know? And one of my students is like, "You're about to take that car. You're about to take that car." And I said, "I know it's not helping." And then I had to apologize later because I
Yeah.
got
It's never.
mad.
It's never helpful when someone else is also stressed,
Yeah.
telling you what you're gonna do or doing wrong.
hmm It's hard because it's like I could have not seen that, and then it would have saved my butt, but I
That
did,
is
and
true.
so then I
Yeah.
was frustrated.
Yeah.
So I apologized later. Just like I also apologized to the girl who I told to pray and walk at the same time.
Yeah.
um, but so
Pray and
eventually we get
walk,
in there.
honey. Freaking Jesus will walk with you.
um, yeah. So then they all go in there, and I'm like, "You guys, we have like 15 minutes or something like that." And it was so packed in that Walmart, and the lines were so long. It took us like 45 minutes to get everything done
Hmm.
and back in. And so we finally get in. I have to back out, and it's just as horrible getting out as it was getting in. I drive back to the campus. We're all late for lunch. So I pull up to this like entryway where the lunchroom is. It's like the stairway. It's like the main entrance. And so I pull up and I just let everybody out. And I'm like, I'll go park the van. You guys go get your lunch so that you can get started on the day. And then I had a lunch meeting with the school leader and my co-leaders that I had to get to. And so I go down, and this is like I nicknamed this campus. It's YWAM Tijuana. I nicknamed it YWAM Incline because the entire base is on a giant hill. So
Frick
anywhere you
that.
walk, your heartbeat is just pumping, dude. You're
Dude,
gonna
I bet
going to be cardiac
everybody's calves
arrest.
on that base are
Unbelievable.
large.
The
Yeah.
the dorms are like on just the greatest incline you've ever seen, and
Wow.
so I go
It's just
park the
like
van.
this. It's just like this, and everything's like that. It's like on the side. Everything's tilted.
Yeah, it's like freaking Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Freaking. So I go park, and it's on this hill. Prefacing this situation with this could have been monumentally worse than it was.
Well,
So
that's good.
thank the Lord it didn't kill
That's
me or
right.
somebody
You could have
else.
killed everybody on the bus.
I
So
could have killed everybody
positives.
ever. Yeah.
If it
So
if it just killed one person, at least it didn't kill two.
exactly. Okay. We're always grass is greener. Okay. Um,
Always.
So I'm the only person in the van. I'm going to park it. Easy, easy job. So I
Easy
pull into this
peasy.
space. I'm next to all these other vans, but it's right on the side of the main drive. And so I
Okay.
pull in, and then I'm like, oh, I'm a little too far up. So I reverse a little bit, and so
Mhm.
then I go, okay, I want to just go make sure because this van is pretty long. So I go, I want to go make sure that I am not like sticking my butt out in the aisle and people can't drive past it.
Hmm.
I don't want to do that, and so I get out and I go to check and make sure I'm in the aisle, okay? And
Mhm.
I'm incredibly tired and I'm incredibly peeved off because we were
So
late
peeved.
and
Yeah.
my perfectionism cannot Gavin is unhappy and he is letting me know. Gavin's my inner critic if you don't know. Um
Why is
and
he named
so
Gavin?
because he's freaking annoying. And I can
Okay.
just say, Gavin, shut the frick up whenever he's trying to be pissy with me in my head.
Okay. So
Um,
is Gavin like the that's the name that you were like, what name just annoys me the most? And you were like, oh freaking Gavin.
yeah, Gavin's the kid who said, teacher, you forgot to give us the homework.
Oh
That's
frick
Gavin.
that guy, huh?
Yeah, I was talking about that literally at dinner tonight.
Wow.
And so Gavin's the big glasses kid from Polar Express for sure. Uh,
I hated that movie to be honest with you.
so freaking annoying. So, anyways, he's screaming at me, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'm in the aisle. I walk back, so I'm like I feel so clouded, but I'm not aware of it. I'm just like
Wow.
I see it all in hindsight that I'm like, wow, I was not thinking straight.
You were
It
a
was just
Sith Lord.
really really bad. Okay,
Yeah. You were
so I
using the
go
dark
check
side
to
of the
make sure
force.
I make sure I'm in the aisle. I go back and I just step up on the little foot thing and I take the key right out. I did not put the van in park. It was still in
You
reverse.
wow. You know how bad of a place you have to be in to do something like that? You have to be checked out.
I was I had checked out. I was already halfway home. Okay.
Yeah, you
Um,
packed your bags and you just started walking.
yeah, I said, see you later. I'm out of here.
Wow.
I didn't return the room key. I left it in the room. I did not bring it back to the lobby. Okay.
Wow.
That's how checked out I was. Okay. So immediately the van starts rolling because we're on an incline. Okay.
Yep.
And it rolls
Yep.
right over the freaking like stopper thing, the concrete at the end of the
Yeah.
space, onto the sidewalk in front of it. And what's very lucky is it would have kept going, but there was a big tennis court or like a
Mhm.
soccer field, I think, and it was way high up, and so there was just a giant brick wall right in front of the sidewalk, and so it just popped over the thing and slammed into the brick wall. Otherwise, it would have
Nice.
just rolled all the way down the hill. I imagine all the time because at the bottom was this really weak chain link fence, and then it goes into a bunch of houses. Van would have just
Wow.
and just
You would have
right into
ruined
the
so many
freaking
families.
yeah. I would have probably had to go home. It would have been
Yeah,
really,
probably.
really, really bad. Probably would have killed someone. It would have been awful.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it would have been good.
yeah, and so literally like in that moment of it going over the thing and hitting the wall, this is what happened, okay? So I'm halfway in the van. I had just taken the key out. And so immediately I realize what's happening. In my head I go, "Oh, it's my worst nightmare. Sweet." Um I'm crashing someone else's van. This isn't even my property. So I just literally it's like my greatest fear of all times. And so
Yeah.
then I'm trying to stick the key back in and start the van so I can hit the brake. I don't know why I didn't just hit the freaking brakes. I might have tried. What happened was that I wasn't all the way in the car. Like I said, I just stepped up in the doorway and took the key out. So my feet couldn't get to the brakes. I was trying to hit the emergency brake with my hand. It was one of those ones in the pedal, so it was really hard to press, and also I couldn't reach it because the van
Yeah.
was rolling away from me. At the same time as I'm in there trying to freaking do something with all of like the freaking brakes and just try to like get the car started again, it's rolling to the left a little bit to a van that's right on my left, and so it starts closing the door on me. um
Mm.
so like the weight of this van is against the weight of that van, and I'm right in the middle of that door, and so literally it hits my glasses, dude, and it made my glasses like go diagonal. So it like
Mm.
almost just like crushed my rib cage or broke my arm right off if
Heck
there
yeah.
wasn't a wall there. So it was
Yeah.
extremely could have been 10,000 times worse than it was.
Yeah.
Bless the Lord on my soul. But
Oh.
yeah, so all that happened was it went over, it scuffed the bumper on the concrete wall and it broke the right headlight, and their insurance ended up covering it. So it ended up not being a big
Nice.
deal, but I was so mad. Nobody
Yeah.
saw it. I expected a bunch
Okay.
of people to be like running up behind me to be like, "Are you okay?" Not a soul on the campus saw it. And
Wow.
like I took my time. Like I stepped out of the van and I was like, I took a moment. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened." I was so mad on top of what I was already mad about.
Yeah, because now
And
not only is Gage late, but now he has an inconvenience on his hands, and we all know
I have
how
an
he does with
inconvenience,
those.
and it was my responsibility, and I failed, and it wasn't mine.
Wow.
Okay, and
What a
so I'm.
life
This is
lesson you
like
got.
the worst moment of my entire existence, like right
Yeah.
here. I'm just hearing my dad. What the heck, and I'm like, just
Dad,
like
please.
I'm so sorry, I didn't do the chore right. And so freaking, I back the van up into the spot. I take the broken headlight pieces and I put them down in front of it. And I get all my freaking stupid food from Walmart out of the trunk of the van. And I have to take it back to my room. I take it back to my
Yeah.
room and people are like talking to me. Nobody has any idea this happened. They're like making jokes and
That's
like laughing
crazy.
at with me. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm so mad, dude. So I go to my room, put my stuff down, and then I go, okay, I'm late for my outreach leader meeting with the school leader. And the whole time, like on top of this, I'm thinking, school leaders seeing all of this, I look like a freaking idiot. Like I look like such a fool right now. And so then I go to the meeting and I go, I damaged the van. I have to go tell Alejandro, our contact for the base. I have to go tell him that I crashed the van. And they were like, oh my, like they were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I have to just go tell them, so I'll be a little late to this meeting. So I had to go to Alejandro's house during lunchtime,
Yeah.
and I knocked on the door and he opened it and the entire family sees me and I'm like, "Can I talk to you outside for a minute?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Walks outside and I tell him I damaged the van. Here's what happened. And he was like, "Okay, thank you for letting me know. Like, I'll go check it out." And he told me that he's like, "Thanks for telling me though. Usually no one ever tells me." He's like, "We just find damage on the van like that happened and they didn't tell us." And I was like,
Wow.
"Well, you're gonna find out. So why wouldn't I freaking tell you? You know, like better you hear it from me. And so
Yeah.
I got that part right. um,
Nice.
but yeah, so I got one win, you know, one dub. And so then I went to the meeting. I was super pissed. And then I met with Marie like I think either later that day or later that week. And she was like, and I told her some of the stuff that was going on that day and like why I was frustrated and this happened and that happened. And she was like, sounds like spiritual warfare. And
Sounds like I crushed a bus.
I was like, dude, there's no reason for me to be so upset that day. So for sure, I was like, wow, hindsight 2020. But I did not check in with myself at all, you know? And
Yeah.
so now I like try to spot it because once I spot it, then I'm just like, frick you. And then I just
Yeah.
like forget about it, or I'm like wary of of like being rude to somebody because I'm just in a bad mood, you know? But it's like
Yeah.
there was no reason I should have been so peeved off from beginning to the end of that day
Hmm.
and so clouded that it was just like that I took the car key out in reverse and just wrecked that van. So that was like one of the worst days of my entire life. It was so horrible.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So it's just one
I
thing after another, like your story. It's just like
I'm surprised you didn't die.
kept
I'm
happening.
surprised. I'm surprised you didn't die that day.
Same, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm surprised
surprised
you
you
didn't die
didn't
that
end
day.
up in a tree.
Someone was already in it, so I couldn't get in it. So,
You're like, dang it, dude. That's my favorite parking
dude,
spot.
I was gonna wreck into that tree, and you fricked it up, man. You
You're like,
happy?
dude. So like, were you just like driving and then like a tree just popped out of the ground like that, or what?
Did like Doctor Strange like throw you up there, or like how'd you get
Like
up?
portal
That's pretty
you?
high.
Did like were you driving and then you saw a ramp on the back of a big truck and you just decided I'm gonna ramp off that? Is that what happened?
Are you related to Evil Knievel in any way? Like, were you doing a stunt, or
Listen,
like
are
what's
you part of the family, like the Fast and the Furious family?
were you like drinking and driving or something?
Wait, is this a stunt for Fast and the Furious last one?
Is there cameras around here? Like, what is that? Dude, I watched the Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie.
I'm sorry.
1 out of 10. No, you know what? I'm gonna be. I'll do this. Okay, I'm actually gonna give it a 4 out of 10. And
Okay.
here's the only things that I liked.
Okay.
For one, it was better than Space Jam 2, and
Okay.
that's pretty
Respect.
much the
Not that
only thing it
hard,
was.
but
Yeah, not that hard. So there's that. It did a Space Jam 2 where Disney was basically like, look at all the things we own. It's all in here because there were like so many characters from everything. Some characters from like they had like Randy from South Park on there, and I was like, when did Disney own South Park or like
I think it's
any of
like
that?
Hulu. I think it's 20th Century Fox or Hulu or something.
Oh, that's right, because they own. Dude,
Yeah.
Disney owns everything. So
Yeah.
basically, like it was cool seeing all those characters. They had a great cast. Like you had Andy Samberg, you had John
Oh yeah.
Mulaney, you
Come on.
had Will Arnett,
Come
and
on.
you had a lot of others. And there was a lot of cool, um, reminiscent things about Chippendale and the Rescue Rangers. If you're listening to this podcast and never seen Chippendale the Rescue Rangers, I think it was like 1989 when the show came out, but it was a great show. And I always, dude, I freaking hate now that movies have to do like this thing where it's like the premise of this movie was that Chippendale did a TV show called Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and then they stopped doing the TV show, and it's like this is their life now in like Hollywood and like da 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 da. I was hoping it was gonna be like a movie about Chippendale and the Rescue Rangers and something like that, but it's a lame premise, and the premise was lamer than the trailer made it look.
Mm.
So there was that. Um, Dude, oh my goodness, I almost lost it at the end of the movie. They solve whatever the thing is that if you haven't seen, who gives a frick, right? Like, but they solve the case, and
Yeah.
then the police officers ask the lady officer who's been helping Chippendale on this case. They go, "The FBI could really use you," and she goes, "Thanks, but I'd rather start my own agency business." So then my butthole goes like this, right? Like there's no way it could get any tighter.
Yeah.
from cringing so freaking hard because first of all, you're gonna start an agency that isn't the FBI. Like what? That doesn't make any sense at all.
hmm
But I was like, whatever, frick it. Like, sure, this movie's bad anyway. Make it worse with a worse line you could ever tell.
Yeah.
And then, what are some other things I liked about the movie? I like the cast. I like the plugins. Um, at the end of the movie, when the credits rolled, they did the Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the original theme song for it, but
hmm
Post Malone sung it.
That's too bad.
And it
That's really too
honestly
bad.
wasn't, and it wasn't that bad.
Shut
It
up.
really wasn't that bad. I mean, Post Malone's always auto tuned, so I mean, how bad could it really sound, you know?
Yeah.
So I give it a 4 out of 10, and I still don't
That's
recommend
generous.
watching it. Yeah, I give it a four out
She's
of
a
ten because
2,
I
and
love.
that's generous.
I'm being generous here. She was like a 2.
She was like a
Shout out,
2.
shout out to the movie Chips. Great movie.
Oh, dude.
And then I finally watched the Thor trailer, which
Yeah,
is gonna
dude.
be, dude, it's gonna spank my butt cheeks, and I'm gonna be
Dude,
like,
it's gonna spank my butt cheeks, and then when you play it in slow motion, you're gonna see the ripple of my cheeks, and it's gonna go on for like
ooh,
30 seconds because a freaking god slapped them. You know, it's gonna
wow,
keep
dude,
going.
it's gonna slap my butt cheeks, and I'm gonna go stop, but it really means like do it again, right?
Yeah, it's gonna slap my butt cheeks, and it's gonna be like, "Ow!" But it's gonna like leave a little smirk on my face. You know?
Like your face is gonna turn red, and you're gonna be like grinning a
Yeah,
little
and you're
bit.
like smiling, like, "Oh my gosh."
So yeah, Christian Bale is always a great
Dude,
actor in anything he does. So being a villain is going to be great to see.
let it rip, dude. That's all I'm saying. Let it rip. Taika Waititi said it's the best Marvel villain ever made.
Wow,
And I'm
that's a big one.
like, I don't know if he'll top Thanos, but I think Christian Bale's performance is going to be pretty incredible because he never does
It, dude,
anything.
he
He never
does.
does anything like without a 100% effort.
Yeah, like the movie could be bad, but you'll leave the movie being like Christian Bale did a really good job
Christian
though.
Bale is the greatest of all times. Like,
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth is smoking hot, so there's always
yeah,
that.
he's
Natalie
so
Portman,
freaking cut.
Natalie Portman
Unbelievable.
also smoking hot, and she shredded.
Shred.
She's got the freaking hammer now. I'm curious to see like I'm where that goes. Like she had no idea of gods or
Yeah, I'm like, how did
anything
you
like
do
that,
that?
and now she is a goddess.
I
And
guess we'll find out.
because I know last time we seen her, she had that stuff in her. What was it? That red stuff or whatever, and she had some problems like that. And
Yeah,
I don't
IDK,
know,
man.
dude. Somehow she
It got
freaking
taken out
controls.
though.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no freaking clue, but I'm hyped to see it. I'm hyped to see Chris Pratt because we're big
He looks
Chris Pratt
super
fans over
hot.
here. Always,
Dude,
dude.
his shaggy, like, but he's got like shaggier hair and like
Yeah.
more like uh like lined up facial hair, and he's looking flaming hot. I watched the trailer several times just to see him, but that was like the teaser
Yeah.
trailer. Yeah,
I aspire
so
to be Chris Pratt, honestly.
you give Chris Pratt vibes, dude. You do.
I really appreciate that. And I also think you're lying, but I really appreciate that.
Dude, I'm not.
Um,
Dude, wait. I'm not lying, bro.
yeah, I hear you. I just think you're
I'm
lying
not
to me and
lying,
it's
dude.
cool.
No, I'm not freaking lying to you.
Okay.
I wouldn't lie to my best freaking friend.
Okay. Well, I mean, you moved off and left me, so I mean, what else would
Okay, did I lie doing
Anyways,
that? I said I was going to do it and I did it.
well, like you said, we were gonna be best friends forever, and then you moved away for a long
We
time.
are best friends.
Doesn't show because I don't see you here anywhere.
All right, guys, that's the end of the episode.
um, I went to a comedy show this weekend.
Uh-huh.
I went to go see Theo Vaughn, and it was amazing, and it was everything I wanted it to be. My man's came out dressed in a Jason Kidd jersey. Gage
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know who that is, but
Nope.
he won a championship for the Dallas Mavericks, along with Dirk Nowitzki and all them boys back in 2011. So that was awesome. But So we leave early. I have us leave early because we go. I want to go to Dallas. I take Carol with me.
Yeah.
We go to Dallas. I take her to eat at this really cool place that had a. It was called Son of a Butcher in Dallas, and they make like unique burgers and other joints. And one burger, I got sliders. I got three sliders.
Okay.
One of them was a peanut butter and jelly burger.
Hmm.
I'm curious, so I was
Yeah.
like,
Piqued my
I'm feeling a
interest.
little risque today. Like,
Did you
what's
tell
going
them they
on?
had to lather it all in the same bun? Did you tell them
No,
that?
I don't.
Did you
I
tell
don't
them
really
that's the
like
way you
to.
eat it?
I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. I mean,
I think they would have kicked you out.
I think you should shut your face and let people live their life. That's what I think. Are you trying to imply something? No, it's
I'm
just like I'm
sorry.
saying. Like, no, I'm just saying like the way you do it's stupid. So that's what I'm saying. So here's the thing about me too. With like that makes me think of like when I go out to eat places. I feel like you're the same way, and I'm almost positive, but I don't know. I don't want if there's an inconvenience when ordering the food, I just let it go. Like if I don't have sauce, if I asked for
Yeah.
sauce and I
No.
didn't get sauce, I'm not going to be like, "Hey, you forgot the sauce." I'm
Yeah.
just not going to have sauce because they already hate that they have to work there.
Yep.
Or like uh if I don't know what like one time me and Carol go through Taco Bell and she's like what's in the she asked for a certain box and they're like we don't have that anymore and then Carol's like well what's the chalupa ask her what's in the chalupa box. I'm like I'm not going to ask her what's in the box. A chalupa probably a chalupa and some other stuff. It all tastes the same, it's just folded differently.
Yeah.
And then she's like just it's not a big deal and it's not a big deal to ask, but
It's
I'm not
not.
going to do that. I don't want to do it. I just want to just order something and it comes how it is. And if they didn't take off the things you asked them to take off, just take it off. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That made me think of that. So we go to this place called Son of a Butcher, and
Hmm.
I want the PB&J slide. What it is it's a piece of wagyu beef
Okay.
with a peanut butter sauce,
Okay.
a little bit of jelly, and some bacon.
Okay. Okay.
And it worked. It was awesome, dude. This is the only thing that it needed a little more salt because
Hmm.
you could taste everything, but there was not enough salt on either the burger or the bacon to kind of like go against the sweetness of the PB and the J. You
Yeah.
know, because like the PB and J, they were there, right? And they're
Hmm.
like, "Nice party,
They're like, hey,
man."
what's up? Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, it's actually my party." And then like wagyu beef and bacon were like, "Dude, awesome party, man." And they were like, "Thanks." And they
Yeah,
like
they were
turned their
like,
backs on them.
"Oh, dude, did you bring the salt?" And they're like, "Bring the what?" Like, "Did you bring the salt? The salt keg?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "Dude, this party's gonna suck, man."
Yeah. But all in all, great burger. And then they had these freaking nacho fries. It's it's waffle fries with like
Okay.
real nacho cheese sauce
Okay.
with like it I don't know exactly what it was. It was a different type of cheese, but it wasn't parmesan, but it was the consistency of parmesan.
Okay.
But regardless, I left and I was like back in kind of hurts like what is going on? And then I look and there's a handprint on my butt cheeks cuz it slapped, you
Dude.
know?
Yeah, dude. I was
And
gonna
then
ask what did it do to your butt cheeks though. That's what I
yeah,
was gonna
freaking
ask.
scarred them. So
Dude.
then um we were like on this it's like a big strip kind of
Hmm.
where we were at and I had to finding parking for this on a Saturday was
No way,
horrendous.
dude. No way.
Somehow I found a spot.
Was it an
um
entry?
no, someone was in it. All the trees I I find a spot by the grace of God and
Yeah, honestly.
there's it's outside three shops. Two were like a restaurant and a third was a bar. Now I kind of
Hmm.
wanted to go to the bar because they had the Celtics game and the Heat going on, and
Let's go.
it's playoff season, baby, and your boy's all about that. Um, but I see a sign on in front of those buildings were parking spots. They were all taken, and I was on the ones on the back. But
Yeah.
on the front, there were signs per each store, and it was like, if you're not here for us, we will tow you. Well, on the side that I was on, there was another sign, and it said something about towing. But I'm like, man, I really hope I don't get towed. That would be super unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many people out. Who's to say I wasn't at any of those? Which was what Carol
Yeah.
said, which was a good point. But I'm still
Or
kind
you
of
just
like,
like walk in, take a selfie, print it off on your
see,
HP
we were
portable
here.
printer, and then put it in
Yeah.
the dashboard.
So after we eat, we still had like I said, we were super early. The show didn't start till 9:45.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 7:30 by the time we were done eating.
Yeah.
Well, there's a sneaker shop called the Lab,
You're in.
which is super cringy to say, but hype beasts, whatever. Their sign says the laboratory, and on top of it is like 5 or 6 pairs of like pretty expensive sneakers just hanging out on top of this sign, being ruined, right?
Yeah.
But it's whatever. You probably have the money for that, so it's fine. We go in and it is massive, and there is. I love sneakers, but I hate hype beast stuff like the clothing and like the I guess the world of all that. I think it's gross. Like I'll wear a
Mm-hmm.
cheap shirt and some shorts or something, but my feet will be they'll be
Swag.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but we go in there and everything is so crazy expensive. Like most of the shoes they had was like $200 to $300 more expensive than what you could get for a new pair on like StockX.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this thing about me where the price might be crazy. I don't have to buy it, so I
Yeah.
don't. Not my store. I don't have to make the prices, and I don't make the prices.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in there, and there's a dude in there, and he's with his friends, and he's like, bro, these prices is crazy. And he's like, look at this, and he grabs a shoe, and he's like, $400 or $500. He was like, bro, my brother bought this retail for 280, 250, something like that. And he was like, ain't nobody buying nothing in this store. And he is so loud. Like everybody in the store hears this man ripping on these prices. And I am cracking up because
Yeah.
one, the owners do not care. But
Yeah.
two, he makes a valid point and it's hilarious because he's causing a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one pair of sneakers I really have been wanting for a long time. I see them and I'm like, let's just be entertained.
Yeah.
And I flip it over. I look at the price and it's like $160. So that lets me know it's like a used pair that they're selling, but it's in great condition. And I'm like, might have to cop. Flip the tongue over. Check the size. It's a size too small. So then my heart shatters because Jordans are already uncomfortable. I'm not gonna wear, so I'm not gonna squeeze my foot in that.
Yeah.
So I leave, no sneakers, a sad boy. Then we go ahead and walk back to. Oh no, I meant to. I called you when this happened. I called you and you didn't answer me because you freaking suck. Which is nothing new, but frick you for that. Anyways,
I remember I was
you remember
doing
receiving
something when you called.
Yeah, not answering my text and being a bad friend. I remember too.
It wasn't a text, it was a call. I was doing something
not answering
very
your best friend. I understand.
important.
Yeah, not
And
that
I
important.
said sorry, and I put it on silent.
Well, you didn't say
What was I
sorry to
doing?
me.
What day was it?
Saturday.
Saturday?
Let me help jog your
doing
memory too.
Saturday?
Let me help jog your memory. It doesn't matter because you should
I
have
was at the
answered me.
beach, dude.
You were at the. Dude, shut the frick up, dude. You were not at the beach.
When I tell you that I didn't even know my phone rang. I saw that you called at like 11, or no, I got home at like 12 something, almost 1 o'clock at night. And I didn't even know that you freaking called me until then. I was at the beach for hours, dude. We had freaking Modelo's there. It was awesome. It was Modelo time, and then I gave a Modelo to someone else. I was like, hey, you guys want a Modelo? And they're like, yeah.
So I went into a Trader Joe's for the first time in my whole life.
Oh, dude, I freaking love the people who work there.
That's why I went in. I went in because you talk highly of Trader Joe's. So I was
Yeah,
like, I gotta go see what the thing is. I gotta go see what the hype's about.
yeah.
So Carol was like, I've never been in a Trader Joe's, and I was like, me neither. Let's go in. And she was like, okay. So we go in, and I'm looking around, and I was like, this is a lot different than I expected. And then I'm like, maybe I should just walk around a little bit more, see what's up. And I started walking around, and there was a lack of toys in Trader Joe's,
Yeah, there is
and
a huge lack of toy.
like pretty much there were no toys.
Yeah,
And
you could say there were
we,
zero toys.
yeah, and I got to the back of the store, still no toys, and I look at Carol and I go, dude, this place freaking sucks. And she goes, yeah, it's pretty lame in here. And we walked out, and I was like, dude, Gage loves this place. This joint freaking sucks. And then I called you to tell you how much it sucked. And to my surprise, my best friend didn't answer me because he's honestly not a good friend.
Dude,
Anyways,
if I knew that's what you're gonna say, I wouldn't even have answered you.
well, it doesn't matter. If it was something important that you would have wanted to hear, you wouldn't answer me anyway. I could have been dying and for my last breath wanted to tell you my true feelings about you, and you wouldn't have answered. So it doesn't even freaking matter, dude.
I didn't freaking hear my phone ring, dude.
Oh, shut up, dude.
I didn't
Gosh.
freaking listen. Okay, sorry, I'm not on my phone every 2 freaking seconds of my freaking life. You freaking teenager.
I
Okay.
didn't need you on your phone for 2 seconds every day for the rest of your life. I just needed you on them for the 2 seconds whenever I called you, and then you answer me, and then I tell you how I felt about Trader Joe's, and then we hung up.
Yeah, well, you didn't even freaking
Yeah,
talk to the
well,
people. The
shut
people are
up.
the best part.
Dude, people these days are not the best part. People are out of their minds, and they need to be stopped.
Dude,
Anyways.
I have needed to be stopped for a long time. But
Yeah,
you didn't
dude,
stop
I
me.
know. Dude, how can I stop you? You moved away.
Dude, I didn't always live here.
Well, you were easier to maintain back. Like, I could contain you, right?
Dude,
Because
you
I
were
don't want to
supposed to
control
stop
you.
me. You were supposed to stop me.
I pretty much stopped you.
You did not stop me.
I stopped you.
Did not stop me.
I
Did not
contained
stop me.
you. I contained you so you didn't have to get to the point of needing to be stopped.
You did
And then
not
you were
contain me.
like, yeah, dude, like I was Magneto, right? And I had the helmet on.
Dude, you did not contain me.
Dude, no. Okay,
You're at work
better
till
now.
freaking late every night. You did not
Dude,
contain me.
better analogy. I was Charles Xavier and you were Magneto, but without your helmet.
Dude, that's
I was in your
facts.
I was like this. Oh, stop. Stop. So, okay, this is the part that I'm trying to get at. So,
Okay.
we get to the show early before the doors even like we were allowed to go in cuz I wanted to get a parking spot to find one cuz finding a spot in Dallas is like trying to get your best friend to answer his phone call, right? It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And we get a spot relatively close and it's also around prom time and when I'm in
Gross.
Dallas, when I'm in this part of Dallas and I'm seeing where people in Dallas are having like their prom and stuff, I'm like, good lord, like I know I have white privilege, but over here is crazy. Like they got like valets and
control.
dude, it is crazy. I'm like, dude, what do people do for money out here? Like this is insane.
Drugs. They sell drugs.
I don't know about that, but maybe.
Money laundering for the cartel.
So we get there and the doors aren't opened and I'm like, let's just sit on this park bench out here. There's a outside of the stadium that we were at. There's like a coffee joint like outside. Really smart on their part. Like there's just a
Yeah.
little coffee area. You can get coffee, chill out, hang out before the doors open. We're just hanging out. I see a line forming, and I was like, Carol, we should probably just go ahead and get in line. And she's like, okay. We stood in line maybe like 30 minutes, but it kind of went fast.
Mm-hmm.
But behind me, I'm hearing a voice that irks me to my core almost. Picture just like a tall, lanky guy with a polo tee tucked in, a short sleeve polo tee tucked in, and a belt. And his voice kind of screams like, my dad has a lot of things, and I might work for him one day.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, actually, he's talking to someone in line. I don't know if it was his friend or I don't know if he came with them. It sounded like they were getting to know each other, but they knew each other, but a
Hmm.
long time ago. So he's like, yeah, I don't have my tickets really. I mean, I have the email confirmation, but I don't have my tickets. It's too hard. And I'm like, this guy, like, so he doesn't have his tickets and it's too hard, but he's in line. How's he going to get in? Now,
Hmm.
this is how the process worked, and I figured it out. So if I figure it out, anybody can figure it out
Yeah.
because I suck at all of that. So you buy the tickets and it sends you a confirmation email. You get the confirmation email and it wants you to make an account with the place that you bought
Yeah.
the tickets from. Once you make an account, you can download the tickets to your, if you have an iPhone, to the wallet, or it'll just email you the tickets and the code will
Yeah.
be there. Easy peasy. Um, the car was in the treasy. So then there's like people who work there. They're coming by every like 3 minutes, being like, "Make sure you have your ticket because if you don't, you're not getting in."
Hmm.
And he stops somebody and is like, someone in line. He's like, "Hey man, do you have your tickets? Because like this is super complicated. Like it says it doesn't recognize my email." And the dude was like, "Yeah, so basically all you have to do is just like make an account and then you can just download it or get the tickets like sent to your email." And he's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, sweet. Okay, well, thanks, man. That's really helpful." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem, man. Really, that's like, yeah, good luck, whatever." And I'm like, "That was a nice guy because I wasn't going to say
Yeah.
anything."
Yeah.
And he basically didn't listen to a single thing that dude said and was
Saw
like,
it coming.
"Yeah, dude, I don't know how to get these tickets." And person was like walking by because I was about to turn around and be like, "Hey, man, let me break it down for you," you know?
Yeah.
And then, but then this security lady walked by and he goes, "Excuse me, ma'am. So actually, it says here that it doesn't recognize my email, so I'm not too sure how I would get those tickets, because it doesn't recognize that." And she's like, "Well, no, you just gotta you click the link. So you go click the link, and then I'm sure you just have to make an account, and then you can just get the tickets that way." And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, yeah, it's just like that's really complex. Like that's honestly like a really bad system." And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't even have tickets, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I just figured it out." And then he goes, "Dude, this is where I get
This is the moment.
so mad." Because he goes, "Yeah, so if you get a chance, if you could just tell anybody in charge like that this is a bad system, like if you could just let them know that, you know, it's honestly really complicated, it's a bad system, like if they could do something about it." "Oh, I have a tumor." And and me and Carol are just like freaking laughing to ourselves because we're like, this dude is not serious right now
Yeah.
that he's actually said that.
Hmm.
First of all, how stupid are you that you think that someone's gonna be like, at all of the people? There are thousands of people here, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, you're unhappy? Let me fix that."
I'm calling my
No
boss
one,
right now.
dude, nobody gives a frick about who you are at all.
No one cares.
And people need to hear that more, honestly. People need to hear more that they really don't matter.
My favorite thing on Twitter, the amount of time, the amount of saved drafts I had for tweets that I have not sent on my movie account, unbelievable. Okay,
Yeah,
because I'll just tear into people because I don't think it's a big deal. I think this is a movie. This is a
yeah,
movie thing. So to me, it's like your feelings shouldn't be hurt by this because it's just I'm talking about a movie thing and it's not that big of a deal. It's not
yeah,
personal. It's your opinion. I disagree with it, or I think you're an idiot.
yeah,
But you don't have to believe that. That's my thing. I'm like, I can think you're an idiot, but you don't have to believe it. So
right.
there you go.
Yeah, that's
Easy as
fine.
that. Why would you believe me? I don't even know who you are. Anyways,
Yeah,
so I get on Twitter and I see random tweets every now and then about like I might see a tweet and then I look on the comments and I always find freaking morons there. Okay,
Sure.
about like a movie or something or like a moment or something like that. So the most recent one that happened was like this dude saying, "I think they should have done like XYZ for this movie." And that this, this happening was really bad. Or he was like, they should have done this, or I hope they do this. I think is something along those lines. And I
Mhm.
immediately read that and thought, had to tell this dude no one cares. So I get on
Yeah.
there and I start typing up my comment that says, I always do the sarcastic route, and I usually type in something along the lines of, "Oh, dude, I guarantee you they changed it now." Or, "Dude, I bet they changed it now. Good for you." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Dude, good work. I bet they changed it now." That's like the kind of thing that I always say. Usually no one replies to it, but I get a good laugh out of it because I'm
Yeah, you
like,
get a little kick out of it.
no one freaking cares what you
No
said,
one.
and
Yeah.
you shouldn't be under, like, I want you to know that no one cares, like,
Yeah.
and then not in a mean way, but in a way of like, this is a
Right.
reality check, man. You saying this changes nothing. It just
Yeah, it's
makes
like
you
you.
look silly.
Yeah. And honestly, I do that a lot too.
Yeah, I'm like, that doesn't that doesn't do anything, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just your opinion, but it's like you could just say, I don't like that. But it's
I
like
do that a lot too.
you're commenting with the intent to like hopefully they'll change that. And I'm like,
Right.
they're not gonna change it, man.
Yeah, they're not gonna change it.
They're not gonna
Hey
change
man,
it.
shut up. How about that?
Hey dude, no.
Think about that.
Think about that.
I'll
Have you
leave
ever
it.
thought
I'll
about
leave that.
maybe no?
So, I hear you. Let me see here. Have you thought about no? Because it says here, it says no, and yeah, no. Yeah, it says no. And then underneath it, it wants you to put in something. I'll do it. Shut up. Shut up. No. Shut up. How about that? You like that? How
Oh, let
about
me
that?
see. Oh, hold on. I got no. Okay, so oh no. I found no. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, it's right here. It says no. Oh wait, sorry. This is the wrong one. No, sorry. Here it is. Yeah, no. This one says no. So yeah, if you could just go ahead and do that for me, that would be great. I'll never see you again. Don't care who you are.
Okay, so as this guy is telling this woman that she should complain to whoever's
Mhm.
in charge. Yeah, if you could just whoever's in charge, let them know that this is honestly a bad system and it's really confusing and they should look into changing that. And then she goes, "Why don't you tell them yourself? They're in there. I just work here." And I was like,
Hey man,
"Slam, dude. Yes."
thank you so much. Thank you for not going the route of like, yeah, no, I'll definitely tell them that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I would
she
have done that because I just want them to stop talking to me.
exactly. Yeah, she just goes, "Why don't you just go in there and tell them yourself? They're in there." And then she was like, "I'm just security." And he goes, "Okay, well, thank you so much for your help." And she's like, "No problem." And then like she walks off, and he still just does not understand. He ends up getting it before we get in, but I'm like,
I wish you didn't.
bro. So then we get in, and we are upstairs. Like we're waiting for them to open the door for us to like get to go to our seat,
Yeah,
and we see him, and we're like, dude, if he sits by us, like this is gonna be unfortunate because he seems the type of guy to like kind of laugh, but like laugh badly.
yeah. And
And
he'll probably every joke that Theo says, he'll probably be like, "Hey man, I don't really understand. That like joke is like too complex for me. Can you explain that to me?"
but luckily he didn't sit near us. It was a good
Amen.
time, and that's all she wrote. Really, I mean, that was just the experience I had with that. So I just did not like that guy. So he never did
Yeah,
anything to me, but the things that I heard him say with his mouth, I was kind of like that kind of. Oh, don't do that.
that needs to stop. That
Yeah.
needs to stop. Yeah.
Dude, he was
Well.
talking with the lady who I guess was like his friend or whatever the frick, and they were talking about how Ludacris is still like his songs. They were like his songs are still like today like really freaking good. Like they were talking about the relevance of his songs. I'm like, dude,
Mhm.
no one's listening to Ludacris anymore unless you have kids that are like 15 and up, and you're just still living in those days. The people who still listen to Ludacris are like the people who still listen to Nickelback.
Yeah.
It's good. Like it's
It
cool to
is
like
ludicrous.
yeah,
It's ludicrous.
it's cool to go through, but like to say it's still relevant, like maybe not. He's still doing the Fast and Furious movies, and like
maybe
those
maybe just
should stop.
hold on. Maybe
Let me just refer to my notes real quick.
yeah. It says right here. A study in 1974 says 99% no. So
Wow,
and
that's
that
science.
1% is still no. This is the other one.
So
So
that'd be 100% no.
yeah. So if my math's correct, it should be yeah. Listen, that's no.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching or listening. We're on anything you can watch it on. We're on Twitter. I don't know what it is, but you could probably find it.
Find it.
We are on TikTok. Don't know what that is either.
Find
It's
it.
all rabbit trail. It's all rabbit trails.
Yep.
Something, and we got the logo of the bunny with the orange RT. So find it, follow it, subscribe, like, maybe comment if you want to.
Hey, and always remember to be yourself.
Or if you want to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Because originality is just, it's a myth. Originality is whatever you want it to be. You could be someone else and say you did it first.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys next week.